Hello, everyone. It's another edition of the Afterparty. It's been a while. Last time you heard from us, it was the Christmas episode of Saturday Night Live. I'm Kevin Turner. Jesse Kubanet is here. Been a tough week for his Bills. Last week was a tough week for my Packers. But that's why we do this to escape the real world. Has been a month, and to start the 2026 calendar year off with the 10th episode of the season, we get Finn Wolfhard, Mike from Stranger Things, and ASAP Rocky from Rihanna's family, because he's married to Rihanna. Yeah. All right, Jesse, how have you been, man?
I've been good. I've been good. This is yeah, definitely feels like it's been a long time. I was gonna say 3 weeks, but yeah, four sounds about right, and that kind of bleeds into my feelings on the cold open to just let us rip it right in there.
Yeah.
Lot to catch up on in a few weeks, and I just want to check my notes here. This was solid. It was solid. It was strong. We've gone back and forth a lot about James Austin Johnson's Trump in other scenarios, but this is pretty standard at the podium. Great get for Jeremy as JD Vance. That's a good move for him. They kind of made a joke on it. He looks a little different. Colin is Hegseth, always strong, but this is what's difficult about this episode. And as we do more and more of this podcast, it'll be interesting to see um, how long these breaks tend to be, especially the Christmas one. This felt really long to me. And I think that showed in the cold open where there was a lot for them to cram in. 3+ weeks of Trump stuff. There's obviously a lot going on in Minnesota. There's a lot of ice stuff. And even like Hegseth doing the kettlebell swing, they like hit that really hard. And that was Colin doing a really funny job with it. The kettlebell swing, I was like, oh, I kind of forgot about it
Yeah,
because
me
it,
too.
it happened but not that long ago. We all have goldfish brain. So, like, I don't know. It was strong, but also kind of fit how I feel about this episode, including the music, just to get a little bit ahead of myself here. Everything was good and just a little bit too long.
Yeah, I think everything. First of all, well, we can say our like thoughts for the end, but I did find it to be a good episode, and I
Agreed.
actually, of all the people on Stranger Things, and maybe we can talk about this in the monologue. I'll wait a second because you brought up a good point. First of all, I don't have a lot of patience this week for too many Trump cold opens, and I know that's a big crowd out there, dude. It's been a month, and it's really been 19 years, because there's so much shit just happening, and you just have to do it.
Yeah, what do you
Um,
expect them to do? It'd be
you ha-
weird if they didn't.
it'd be very weird if they didn't. And a way to break that up is to bring out cabinet members. So to use Marcelo as Marco Rubio, perfect. When Marco Rubio starts talking in a foreign language and Trump's like, hey, not in here, buddy.
Yeah.
Very good. JD Vance for Jeremy Coolhane. I had not, and it may be just because it's been a month, so maybe just kind of out of it for a minute. Never really thought much because they didn't use Bowen as JD Vance that often.
Hmm.
So in my head, when Bowen left, I was not thinking about anything else besides Bowen left. I wasn't thinking about they need to find a new JD Vance, and that's on me. I should have thought that. Um, and so we didn't get to see a lot of what Jeremy could do with that, but you can tell he's working on the cadence of JD Vance, and you can kind of see the promise that it could get there. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I like it. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here because like Bowen didn't look like JD Vance, which that was funny. And I think that's probably what would needle JD Vance the most because like there are impressions that are done with love, and then there are impressions that are not that are meant to really annoy, kind of like Melissa McCarthy being Sean Spicer. I actually think like they probably should have done, and we're very pro Jeremy. I think you do Sarah Sherman as Vance, which I think they've done. Sarah's done Chuck
Matt Gates.
Schumer, and oh yeah, she's done Matt Gaetz too. Um, I think like she would have done a good job with it because it's really funny how Jeremy does not look like he almost looked less like JD Vance than Bowen did, with the beard and the eyeliner and stuff. It just it didn't look like him to me, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Um, and it's not like he doesn't have a bunch of mannerisms or a particular sound, which is also why just politically he's kind of quote unquote popular with like his base or whatever. Like he's kind of a nothing person. Like he doesn't have
Yeah.
speech patterns. He did like it's not like Bush. Bush had his accent and like the way he spoke. Obama had his cadence and like his voice tone. Trump obviously has Trump. JD Vance is just like so bleh. And like that's all he's got. All he's got is that he's just kind of like a weirdo with, dangerous ideas. So he's hard to lampoon. So I think they could have gone more extreme with it.
I think that you want to think long term on that too, though. Like when
Mhm.
you make the choice for both, but now you see where things are going. Whatever, there's a chance that JD Vance is your president in 2028, and then like you want to make sure you have that locked in. And Jeremy Coolhain as a new cast member, that could be like an emphasis. Like, dude, keep working on this, keep getting this down. You're right; it's going to be tough to like pick apart what it is. I think the one thing you can kind of go with, he does have that kind of Ivy League slick politician type cadence sometimes, almost like talking down to the media, like in a condescending way. And if Jeremy Coolhain, nothing about him gives off uber confident guy, which is
Right.
what JD
Yeah.
Vance is kind of doing. He's kind of fake confident guy, and I'm gonna, talk down to you. And that's why I think if Coolhain can get that, that would be incredible. Because I'm willing to give this a lot of time because I think this could work. And maybe it's because I think you and I both think pretty highly of what Jeremy can add to the show eventually.
What's really interesting that I did not have this down as something we were going to talk about today, but Vance is probably the least impressionable political figure at this height that we've seen. To your point, like he might even be president before 2028, just given the way that
Yeah.
Trump's physically going. But like, go all the way back to Chevy Chase. Like, I don't remember who they had doing Reagan, but Chevy Chase
Wow.
like
Yeah.
falling down as what would that have been, Ford?
Yeah.
Um,
Gerald Ford.
really like that was the bit for him because like his whole thing was just he fell down a lot and they really like ramped that up where he would like roll down a spiral staircase. But then you go into Dana Carvey's Bush Senior. That's a very like that's like a more of a character than anything else. Then you go into Daryl Hammond's Clinton, which was just great, but also Clinton has this fun accent and speech pattern. Then you go into W, which became Will Ferrell's thing, and like that also kind of becomes a character. Then Obama, they didn't really nail. You had Jay Farrow, you had Chris Redd,
It
but
took him
like
forever. Fred Armisen did it for a while.
Fred Armisen did it. The most cartoony one that I remember is the Rock Obama,
Yeah.
which again is like a cartoon, but that was the way they did that. Then obviously you get Biden is very impressionable just because he has a certain speech pattern. He's old and the pauses. And hey, wait, here's the deal. I thought Dana Carvey's was a little too much. I thought James Austin Johnson's was actually the correct
I did
one,
too.
but he can't do both unless
Yeah.
you pre-tape stuff. And so like you have to bring Dana Carvey in. But it's just interesting to see where it goes. And with, there's not really a politician that has out there. Like I'm trying to think even on like the
Gavin
Democrat
Newsom's
side.
not gonna dude, that's gonna be tough to do.
And also if it is like when you bring in Gavin Newsom, Josh Myers, Seth's brother, who does it on Kimmel, is unbelievable. I don't know if you've seen that yet, but like he does such a good Newsom. So it's everybody doing that. It's going to feel like you're doing it in
Do,
second place.
do you remember? I don't know. We did talk about this when they let the cast members go. But one of the things among the many laundry list of things that I was pretty butthurt about with Michael Longfellow was Michael Longfellow did Gavin Newsom. Now he did it once and it wasn't
Yeah.
perfect, but you're sitting there going, okay, there's your guy who could be Newsom in 2028. If that's what ends up happening, who knows?
You had Colin do Mayor Pete, which was fun, but Colin is Hegseth now. Like that's
beautiful. It's
what
perfect.
that is. That's like perfect. So yeah, it'll just be interesting to see where they go with this. If you bring in celebrities to do it, I'm happy for Jeremy, but like I think this could be an Obama situation where
Yeah.
you get like 3 or 4. Like I'm surprised it wasn't Tommy Brennan, and that's kind of more overarching thoughts, like Tommy Brennan has kind of become a little bit of a ghost since the Nikki Glazer episode, which is a bummer because I think he's really strong, but he just might not fit in this show.
There's a lot of things on the cold open that I did find to be great. Colin as Pete Hegseth is now like must see TV. The welcome to the jungle joke. It's so corny, but just so perfect for what he's doing. And then I just think like they're gonna like one thing I'll give James Austin Johnson a lot of credit for, and I should reiterate, Alec Baldwin was doing Trump at a higher rate, like more frequently than we were getting James Austin Johnson as Trump. So anyone who says you're getting too much Trump and James Austin Johnson, it could be worse. Just remember that. And the thing that James Austin Johnson has always done and that Alec Baldwin never did is he has changed it. He's leveled up. He's made little things. And now they're leaning into the dementia element. Like they just are. And it's
like mumbling his words and kind of like losing, what he's saying is really solid. Like, and that was, I don't even know what the podcast is, but a lot of like SNL and comedy people have done it. It's like a guy from Vulture. I'm sure you've seen it on socials and stuff, but James Austin Johnson was just on, and they've had a handful of SNL people do it recently. And he was talking about how Lorne came up to him when he finally got to do his Bob Dylan, because Timothée Chalamet was on, he was doing the Bob Dylan doc, and Lorne had to pull him over in the hallway because James was doing things that Bob Dylan, and he talked about it, how it was like, these are things that Bob Dylan would like tweet about or say, and they were super niche, very, very old references. And Lorne was just like, people that are like 9 years old watch this show. That was like his thing that he said to James, and he had to tweak it because like he's very specific. And I think what he does is he brings the specificity of what's happening right now into the fold. And so like that fits with what you're doing with Trump. But then he's also good at bringing like Pokemon or Mario or, other things into it. But yeah, the like too much Trump crowd. It's like, all right, then, don't have him be president. Like that's the only way you're not going to get him.
It's probably a game too that they had to play with Bill Hader back in the day when he would just want to do impressions of old actors that, that most people are like, I don't really know who that is.
They let him have Vincent Price. But then you have to do other newer references. That's a really good point. I think that was even one of the comments on the thread that I saw of like Bill Hader did this for years, but I don't know. There's a time and a place for it. It'll just be interesting to see where they go with this next crop of people. Cause like, yeah, you're right. Gavin Newsom, JD Pritzker in Chicago, you had Kamala was good, but that was just Maya Rudolph, it was like a character for Maya Rudolph. Yeah. So I think that's how you have to approach it. I think they have to create something for JD Vance. Like they just have to character him up a little bit and however they portray him.
They don't have to do anything for Kristi Noem because Ashley
nailed
that
was
too.
Great with the hat and the face. Yeah, that was good.
And midterms are over. Let's go to the monologue. Finn Wolfhard. Did you watch all of Stranger Things?
I did watch all of Stranger Things, and that was the last thing we talked about where I had not seen any of it, watched it all over, the holidays. Super fun, super good. Really liked it. I know it's like one of the most streamed things, but I think I guess just the nature of everything going on right now and maybe the way I consume media. I hadn't really talked about it that much with other people. It was just kind of like, oh, we watched it and we liked it and it was good. What's cool, I feel like there's been more talked about the Stranger Things, and they're not kids anymore. Like he's 23.
Yeah. It took 10 years to do this.
But like the Stranger Things kids, there's more talk about like them, I think, than the actual show. I thought the show landed the plane. I thought it was good. Thought like hit all the emotions right. I won't like share in case people haven't seen it and I don't want to be the one that gives them a Stranger Things spoiler. But like the way that they approached this monologue was great. Him, the vagina joke with the Demogorgon was funny. Perfect. The puberty stuff was good. What's also interesting in the knowing more, again, to my point about knowing more about the kids, or the actors themselves being talked about more than the show, multiple times I've heard that like Finn Wolfhard is the glue of that group. Like he's the one who keeps the group chat going. I think he's unbelievably likable, and I think that came through in this episode. Like I think we have a really likable guy here. We know he does pretty much all of them do music in some way, but like he does
Yeah.
music. I think he's really talented. I thought he was excellent in this. Like, monologue was fine, but he's also a 23-year-old doing a SNL monologue. He's not a stand-up.
Yeah.
I thought he did great. I think having the two kids on, the two other guys, Gatton and Lucas, like
Lucas and Dustin to come out was cool.
They're great. And then I also saw at the after party, it was a Stranger Things bash.
They were all there.
The three Olders were there. The Duffer Brothers were there. ASAP Rocky, Rihanna, like what a good party. And then I'll come back around to another Finn Wolfhard thing, but I just think he's solid. I'm excited to see what he does post Stranger Things.
I thought of all the people that they would have had, like take the adults out of it, right? Take David Harbour and Winona Ryder out of it. But if you're just going through like, okay, popularity, most famous, honestly, right now, I mean, it was Millie Bobby Brown for a while and it probably still is. But in terms of just pure buzz, it's Joe Keery.
100%.
Because of Joe Keery and his band, Joe, with a D. And go check those albums out. Pretty good.
Really good. Big fan.
So like I was sitting there going, okay, he's eventually going to be here. Like it's going to happen. In fact, in our SNL fantasy draft, there's a bit of point of consternation for me because I hope he's not this year because Mike Soroy did pick Joe Keery and we have to decide if that's going to be allowed. I think I decided to allow it as a double pointer, but if it's DJO, like, I don't know, it's going to be.
I think if he hosts as Joe Keery and performs as Joe, I mean, it's so much him that I would give it to him. But if it was like Joe Keery and his band was like the Snickle Fritz or whatever, like, then I'd be like, okay, you get one. But since it is him, essentially, I'd give him both.
It's definitely going to be a check the tape type thing. Go back and see what we said that night of the draft if that happens. But like at first I thought, okay, a couple of clips I thought, okay, maybe they're hiding him. And I'm this way with anyone who's not like a natural comedian or an actor who's funny, someone who we don't know as funny, right? Like we don't know if Finn Wolfhard's funny or not until, I was in my head, I'm like, okay, they're going to hide him a little bit. So here's what we're going to do with the clips. But he was awesome. And the zoom in on the face is great and all that stuff, like you mentioned. And I thought it was like just really cute for the kids to come out. Kids, they're in their early 20s.
And what's interesting too about, I think you're right in terms of hosting, like Joe Keery's the one to go with. Finn Wolfhard was not an obvious choice in my opinion. And then the two that come out, they're like Broadway kids. So I think they're all in New York and they look super comfortable. And it's kind of like my theory of like when British people come over and crush this because they've been doing stuff like this for years. I don't think either of them was the right choice to host coming off of Stranger Things, but I think in terms of comfortable on the SNL stage, they would have been great. But overall, like I think this was a great surprise of Finn Wolfhard, of me being like, oh, I want to see what this guy does. I want to see him do comedy.
Yeah, and if you didn't know who he was, they did a great job of setting up. Here's clips from him as a child, like from the show. And like, oh, okay, here's a show I never caught on, but I've definitely heard something about it. I thought it was good for everyone. I also liked too, it's like when they brought the drinks out to everyone and they all took a drink and then they all spit. I was like, oh, it looks like a really good, unique monologue, which we don't always get. But that takes us to first sketch out of the gate. We get another rendition of the Snack Homies. This is a bring back here. And it actually had me excited when they showed the intro graphic. Like I was pretty excited for this because they did this back in October in the Sabrina Carpenter episode. And she's back. So a cameo there.
Yeah.
Chloe Fineman's the host, Jane and Veronica as well. And Finn Wolfhard is your guest, Micah, who's really big on Twitch. And then we also get ASAP Rocky joining in for a minute or two. What'd you think?
I thought this was good, and this is not mine. This is on the SNL Reddit, which I saw this afterwards. And I think this is a good call out that this is this generation's Wayne's World, which is a lofty comparison. But in terms of what it is, and running it, like it has the potential to be that. Because at the time, that's a cable access free show. And this is what podcasts are. I don't necessarily want it to be this generation's Wayne's World, but like this is sailing past you and I. Like we're not huge Chloe fans. I don't think she's the strongest piece of this. I think it's good for her for getting like a vehicle that she can be, have her name on. I think like Sabrina's the standout here. Jane is great in this. Veronica's great. Chloe's like, kind of, it is what it is. But yeah, it's a great forum to have a young host on like Finn. And then you get someone like who's just obviously very cool in ASAP Rocky to come do it as himself. So yeah, it might be a thing that young people want to do. Like they might come in the way they were like, I want to do a Wayne's World, or I want to do a Lonely Island digital short. It's like, oh, I want to do Snack Homies.
Yeah, just find a new angle and keep finding a way to level it up. That's what it's all going to come down to. I can't still keep being funny. The one thing they did run into tonight, and maybe hey, look, it's been a month off, right? But there were some mix-ups on camera shots and things like that, and there was a time where there was a little confusion. I think ASAP Rocky jumped the gun on his line, and then Chloe was like, "Oh, that was supposed to be mine," and then kind of jumped, but you got to keep it moving, dude. Sabrina Carpenter's just great at this. I mean, put her on the boat with Ariana Grande. Hey, it's not like they're child actors, right? So I mean, like they've done this forever, but like I don't know. It's kind of amazing how she just kind of fits in.
I would love to be there and see how they do that cameo, because like people lose their minds. I think someone literally does hold up something to block them a little bit until like the reveal needs to happen. I guess they talked about it on the Lonely Island Seth Meyers podcast, where occasionally people's eyes are naturally drawn to the monitor, almost like if you're at a basketball game and you're not watching the action on the court, your eyes are drawn up to the monitor. So that might be a little bit how they get away with it. But yeah, she fits right in. She's excellent. My assumption now is I always assumed she was an LA person. I mean, she's probably, got a LA and New York spot, but
I think she's New York.
Yeah. I think if you're young and have money and are that popular, like I think New York is the move. And then you probably buy an LA place at some other, I'm sure she has one as well, but yeah, she should be New York through and through and be like a part of this for a long time. Like she has the potential to be, like a Tom Hanks like figure on this show, where like she's just a part of it. Her appearance, I think she's gonna have appearances and hosting in the like tens and teens.
I do too.
Until it's all said and done. Same with Ariana.
Yeah, and another thing, all this too. This is a good spot for Jane, who we continue to be pro Jane. All this is fine. It's also like, how do you spread it out? Are we gonna get another one in episode 18? That would be 3 in a year. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Because it feels like there's still places you can go with this, whereas something like Domingo is going to run out of gas real quick unless you change that complete storyline up,
Yeah, it depends on like I don't think Skarsgård does a Snack Homies.
I don't think so either.
Who's on the docket? Because we had Finn. I know we have Skarsgård.
Tiana Taylor next week.
Yeah, like I don't think she does Snack Homies either. I think like anyone that's hosting that's in their 20s, Snack Homies is on the table.
Yeah.
For probably the next 3 years, I would say.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Maybe this takes off online a little bit more too and get some run. It did the first time clearly. And I could see it getting some play there. And then like, oh, this is huge. Let's run it back for the season finale or something. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Mm-hmm. This takes us on to our first pre-tape of the night. Heated Wizardry, a combination of Heated Rivalry, the very steamy and hot show that everyone's watching. My wife is watching. I have not seen it. But it's a pre-tape combining that and that popularity. Combine that with Harry Potter. You got Ben Marshall as Ron Weasley, Ben Wolfhard as Harry Potter. Look, I know you enjoy Harry Potter, so you just go ahead and you let me know how you felt about this.
I mean, this was so excellent. And how easy would this be for it to not be good, for it to be kind of eye rolly, like a one-off joke. I thought the way they did this was really, really strong, and it all hit at the perfect time. So this show is an absolute rocket ship. It's everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. You can't get away from it anywhere. And like, it also plays with what's so popular right now, like romantasy, romance novels. It's also got the, the gay storyline with like male professional athletes. Like, that's an interesting angle to it. Then you have the global reach of Harry Potter, which is never going to go away despite all the J.K. Rowling stuff. Also combine that with, we are going to get another HBO version of Harry Potter where we're going to get the show. So the timing of all of this launches up. I thought it was so funny, really well done, really well cast. I saw on Ben Marshall's Instagram, he posted a shout out that this is one of those, they're throwing stuff out in the pitch. And most of that, like everyone knows, especially if you've read the Lorne book and just followed this show, that pitch is usually you just throw stuff at the wall, and most of that's never going to get picked. And I think everybody was kind of like, that's actually not bad. Let's give a shot at this. And two, he gave Finn Wolfhard a lot of his flowers, where he said he was super game for it, was really funny, and he came up with the Mad Eye Moody Keenan joke, which, like, that's a big get. That's a great joke. It's a great idea. It's great that he's in the process of it. And Tom Hanks is obviously an easy reference to use, and I already said it with the Sabrina Carpenter thing. But that's what like a host like Tom Hanks brings to it. And Conan's talked about that, where he would go back with Conan and Odenkirk and be like, how do we figure this out? So contributing to a sketch that I think will withstand the test of time. As a pre-tape, it was really, really good. And I think a pre-tape in the moment, like, that's one of those that's rare, where like it may be a time capsule one. I don't know if it'll be one that is rewatched a ton over and over again. Like Lazy Sunday is an example where it's like a rap about the Chronicles of Narnia movie, but like that has more legs. I think it's because it's catchier, because it's a song. But like the timing of this with HBO, Harry Potter, Heated Rivalry, I thought was just really, really strong. A good cameo episode. And the last thing I'll say is, what's his name? Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa, yeah.
I really like this dude, how he seems to be really well liked in the SNL offices. I also love that, like, he hasn't done anything that special since Game of Thrones, but I think he's just kind of game. Like, I think he was really game. When I was at Kimmel, he came out with like a Guinness, because there was Guinness backstage there. Like he did like axe throwing. I think he's just very like, yeah, you want something from me? Like, I'll do it. And he probably was just around, and they're like, yeah, you're sexy Hagrid. Sure. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on this. I thought this was really well done.
That's great. And I think it could be a candidate to kind of hit that, Valentine's Day special, once they do like a best of comp. So I think there is some staying power here. This book series is making people who don't read want to go read. At the Dallas Library, there's like a 35-week wait to get, the 6th book of that series. There's like, I've never seen like public library stats get printed out, but Axios did a story the other day about the wait times on this book series at all the local libraries. I was like, that's pretty good, man.
Also, quick shout out from us. Go get your library card. It doesn't hurt to have one.
I thought it was really great, but it takes us to Boy Band, which is not the hardest I laughed in this episode, but it is my favorite sketch of the night.
I think that is dead on. And I agree with, like, the only note I have for this is that it's a very fun idea, and it's clearly a James Austin Johnson idea.
Oh my God.
What a fun concept. And yeah, I think you're right. Like, this is not the funniest thing ever. It reminds me more of like a humor piece that you would read like from the New Yorker or McSweeney's, where it's like, this is not laugh out loud funny, but like we can all acknowledge that this is a very funny concept and idea.
Yeah, and just enough of a weird flair that does feel from the James Austin Johnson. And I don't know, I always feel like I need to lump in Andrew Dismukes with him, on this because they do do a lot of things together and write some sketches together. But so Finn Wolfhard is talking to his mom, and he wants them to support his indie band that wants to go on tour. And but they're trying to like whisper about it before Dad gets home, and then Dad gets home. So you're wondering, he's like, "Dad, wants you to follow in his footsteps." And then in walks James Austin Johnson with the headset on, the Britney Spears, Garth Brooks style headset on, and you quickly realize that Dad was a boy band pop star, and he's so mad. And there's a good line that's just like, I don't know, it's just so good. Ashley was great in this too, and when he mentions the Pixies, and he's like, or when she mentions the Pixies, it's my fault. I'm the one who introduced him to the Pixies. And he's like, well, actually, Mom, it's just Pixies. There's no the. And then she slaps him real quick. The timing was great.
Really good.
It was hard to pull off. And then the band coming in there, all complimenting her. Hey, Kim, you look great tonight. Just how she took each compliment was so good. I was just like, I don't know. At the end of it, I was like, man, I don't think I like laughed out loud the whole time. I was smiled at the TV the whole time. I loved it.
I think you're right. And I think this is one that in the future we're going to think about this because I'm thinking more fondly about it hearing you talk about it than actually in the moment. Like it's one of those ones where I think you'll watch it again in 5 years and be like, oh, this wasn't as hard of a laugh as I remember, but I just really liked it. It's a little bit like an indie movie where we can all acknowledge like this is just good. And we just like this, but you're right. It's not the hardest jokes. The slap is probably the funniest moment. And yeah, how she and all of they react to the mom is great. It was just really good. And I think this is one that they all loved a little bit like the Glenn Powell squad, dancing one where everybody was in it. This is a big cast piece that is not the funniest one, but it was just really good.
Yeah. And I don't know, in the room, maybe not everyone's understanding the, I'm sitting there trying to gauge this too. Like, who's in house watching this? Okay. What age group is that?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
It's probably younger than us. So like, I don't know, maybe not, maybe it's not, but like one of the jokes was in the 18 months preceding 9/11 that's how big they were. They were big for a year and a half before 9/11, which is kind of true. There's a bunch of boy bands that was really their runway was just that. I liked it. And there's a in my head, I've created like a lunch table of sketches that's kind of like music humor sketches as well. And like, I was thinking about the Weezer sketch with Matt Damon and Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones. Yeah.
And I was kind of like, just stow that away there because I just thought that was very funny.
I think you're right. Like, especially because you're one of the most musically inclined and knowledgeable people that I know from like a wide swath of interests, and like you just have your ear to the ground. Like I think about this all the time when people post their like best albums of the year or best songs of the year, and I'm like, oh, where did you find time to listen to all this? Like I know, and I'm a bookworm, so it's probably that way too.
Yeah, no, I see your book list and I'm like, holy cow.
For reading, yeah, like I do that. So I'm just like, I guess you pick and choose, but you're right. Like the music humor is a very specific and niche place, and I think James Austin Johnson and I'm sure other writers like Dismukes and stuff have like a very specific drive for that.
Dude. I mean, Andrew Dismukes said, "Hey, Soul Sister" last year.
Oh,
ukulele.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something there that I don't know. I liked it. So yeah, we got a good book sketch for you, a pre-tape. We got a good music sketch for me.
Yeah.
Stranger Things promo here. I didn't think it went too long, but I didn't like it. In fact, I think I liked it a lot. The favorite part for me though was Mike in Manhattan.
Mike in Manhattan, the Sex and the City one?
Yes.
Absolutely. And then this is where really drove home for me of like, oh, we might have Finn Wolfhard as like a thing. One of my all-time favorite comedies is They Came Together with Paul Rudd and Amy Poehler. And it's a David Wayne, Mike Showalter, Wet Hot American Summer, that crew. It's like in The State and all those people. It's that type of humor. It's very, very silly. And there's a very short snippet in it that Finn Wolfhard does incredibly in this, where the whole story is Amy Poehler and Paul Rudd telling Bill Hader and Kimmy Schmidt and what's her name, Erin from The Office. Her name escapes me at the moment.
Come on,
Ellie Kemper.
Ellie Kemper. Yeah.
They're telling their relationship story, and so they're at dinner, and it's either Paul Rudd or Bill Hader. The way they go to take a sip of their wine, they like do a full open mouth where they're trying to put their like whole mouth around the glass. And Finn Wolfhard does this with the drink and the Sex and the City part, and that's where I was like, oh, this dude's a comedy performer. Like he's really, really funny at this. I thought this was great, and like so true of like it's like we were watching something on HBO last night, and like Game of Thrones is on there, and my wife was like, "Do you know they're doing like another Game of Thrones spinoff?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think they are." And so like, of course they're going to do this with Stranger Things on Netflix. Like they're going to milk this cow as much as they can. So I thought this was really, really solid, and I think having Keenan not only as 11, but like season 1 11. Eggo waffle, gown, nosebleed is such a Lonely Island level joke that I just loved, and like they're gonna have to beg Keenan to leave at some point. Like you just need him for that because like that's what I want to see.
Being the mascot,
yeah, exactly.
Which is that's and honestly in the Heated Wizardry sketch, you know, too. He's kind of he's the thing at the end. Oh, there's Keenan doing something crazy. They do this in the monologue. If they don't have anything for the monologue, let's go to Keenan out in the audience real quick. You know, like it's just what they do. Also, the joke for which would miss clearly with people who didn't watch Stranger Things, but you're also banking on, hey, Stranger Things is in the demo. Everyone probably saw it, or a lot of people saw it. And the joke about Will's coming out scene, it's still going. And that way Jeremy Coyne just kept going. Kept playing it.
Really good.
Was so funny to me because that scene was 20 minutes long.
It was.
It was insane.
I love D, and D is really good.
And I didn't really get the one I didn't like. I thought Dismukes actually kind of looked like Steve, so I like the teaching thing, the Dangerous Minds thing.
Yeah. That was
the Wheeler Files or the Wheeler Report. I didn't really love that. I don't know
with the dad, the dad not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, no. That one was good. Nancy, like the OJ chase.
Oh, the OJ
back
chase.
To the 90s. Like
yes.
So she's in the SUV. I don't know. There's a couple things there. I was just kind of like, I don't know, because it was already long enough. It was good. I'm not poking holes in it. I think it was good, man. A$AP Rocky, your musical guest. First song he did was Punk Rocky, which I had found out last week, so I was pretty pumped to see that. And then he ended it with a couple songs, Don't Be Dumb and Helicopter. Cameos there as well. Thundercat on bass. We had Danny Elfman on drums. Danny Elfman, who does all the music for all the Tim Burton movies and was in Oingo Boingo. Pretty crazy, man. There's a lot going on here.
This fit. So I ripped both of them. I think also this is a good forum where we just do them both. In one. The first thing about the first song I wrote was weird, long, kind of good. And it kind of fit with everything. Felt a little bit long tonight. The pre-tapes didn't really, but everything else felt long. I liked the second performance better. But I'm excited to dive into whatever this version of A$AP Rocky is, because I loved his first solo album. It was great. I didn't know. I knew afterwards that those all were cameos. Like I didn't get that from the beginning, but I was like, yeah, this is weird, long, and kind of good. That was kind of my whole takeaway from A$AP Rocky.
I mean, I like when a person cares, like, because you can go and just play your song and go off the stage. That's fine. Like they probably appreciate that too. In terms of just like the maintenance that goes into it. But we got a big fight scene. We're throwing trash bags, and then they had him on wires to pull him back through the screen. Like that's effort and work, and that's being there and committed to it, and spending a day planning out your performance. So, in my head, I like that effort.
It's interesting
things like that.
Who they give the leash to in that. Yeah. Because
Rihanna's husband's probably gonna get the leash, right?
Yeah, he gets a long leash, and like I remember, the last time Jay-Z was on, they let him do a medley, and he went for like 10. It was the longest one I'd ever seen. And I don't
Besides
know if that was just
Taylor's 10-minute.
unfeeling. Yeah, it was like that. And I think they've let Bieber go pretty long.
They let Arcade Fire do 3 songs before. We know they love Arcade Fire. So
Yeah, it's just interesting how they gauge that, because unlike sketches, it feels like you can't really police the music as much. It's just like once they're out there, they're out there.
Weekend update. We ripped it, by the way. We ripped it. Weekend update. Okay, so our features, we're going to get Cam Patterson as Michael Irvin. We're going to get Jane as Tamara, the button girl from TikTok. Let's start with Cam Patterson.
I mean, so also Cam in a little bit of hot water this week. I don't know if you saw that, but he did some sort of Kill Tony show over the hiatus. It might not have been this week.
Or holiday break, yeah.
Over the holiday break. And he was talking about the Glenn Powell thing, and he made references to that, like SNL wasn't as big a deal for him because he like didn't know about it, which like that's funny. And I think that's great. And I think that actually is why he's doing so well on the show. But then was making jokes about how SNL is also gay. That was like how he phrased it, which is not great. But in the context of like what he was doing in that audience, like that's just what a Kill Tony show is. That's not my kind of comedy. I don't think it's your kind of comedy. I don't think it's the kind of comedy of an SNL watcher. They just tend to be a little more like open-minded and tolerant, and not bigoted, to be frank. But I just think like, I wonder what that conversation's like with him afterwards. Like if Higgins talks to him, if Lauren does, I don't know. I think they just kind of like let it keep going. It's just interesting that Cam can seemingly really excel in both of these spaces, which I did not think he would. I thought his Michael Irvin was awesome. I thought it was really good. I thought the jokes were good. I know like Carl Tart had a hand in writing it, and a couple other people. So I know he's not doing this alone. Sarah also said this on that same podcast I was referencing earlier, how like it's such a collaborative thing. Oh, this is on Birbiglia's podcast, actually.
Yeah, Birbiglia's podcast. Yeah.
So like a weekend update piece, so much goes into it. But I thought like he did it really well. I think because he doesn't fully have a scope of like how big SNL is, he's able to do a really good job. But I just think it's interesting. Like it'll be interesting to see where he goes as a comic. I was kind of hoping he would graduate from Kill Tony and go on this path that he's on, which is just, he's a really good comedian. I am afraid though he's going to continue to exist in both camps and probably go back.
It might be more profitable for him to go the other way too.
I think it will be, which honestly is unfortunate because
it sounds crazy.
I thought he crushed this. I thought it was great. I mean, we're in Dallas. Michael Irvin is a figure, and I thought he did a great playmaker.
I gotta tell you, and I wondered how you would feel. I didn't love it. And
interesting.
I like some of the jokes. I think I grew up obviously listening to The Ticket, and they have fake Michael Irvin. George Dunham does it, who went to UNT and been doing that morning show forever. And it's so good. It has been for 25 years. So it was always good. It was a lofty goal because he hits that. He could get lower with it. And I wanted Cam to get like lower with the voice a little bit. I don't know. I was sitting there, I was critiquing the impersonation more than I was the jokes and things like that, I guess. The impression. I don't know. There's some Michael Irvin things that I feel like have been burned into my brain for 30 years that made me kind of go. And I also had this thing in my head like, oh, okay, this is going to get passed around Dallas and people are going to say SNL sucks because that's the give up thing. And people like to do the give up thing. The first move, fire the coach. You know, people don't think through things very often. They just go.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just there was a little more I wanted out of that, but I might have had a high standard. Like if you're gonna do Michael Irvin, we really need to get low with the voice, and on some of these words, it needs to feel like the car starting, you know, because it takes a little bit to get going. But a good timing for it.
Oh, perfect timing. This is also an interesting one where I wonder if the people that pass it around are like SNL sucks. But if they think SNL sucks, do they think Kill Tony's good? And if so, do they think Cam is good? It's like a trap of
I don't
like,
know. Yeah.
they might be like SNL sucks, but this is good. Because yeah, I think it was solid, and he's such a Michael Irvin's such a character in his own right, and has always been. All the cocaine stuff was really really good. I thought. I think you're right. Like maybe I thought the impression was fine, not being familiar with the Ticket impression, but like the jokes were really good. I thought.
Yeah, no, some of the jokes were like really good. And I think, yeah, I think it's already been out there that Carl Tart wrote that, and people have been talking about that a little bit. So that's, or helped write that.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about that with Cam though. Like, I don't know. There's part of me that thinks Lauren could see that it's funny that he's going and saying these things. As long as he's setting up a joke, I don't think Lauren would care.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it matters, honestly, if Lauren cares or not either. Like,
Yeah, I don't think
I don't know. You know, I don't know how, like, I think Lauren's involved in his part of what he does and probably super high level stuff, but like, and I think Lauren's involved in picking the show, but I don't see, he's not there all the time, you know?
I think it's to the show. Well, actually, that was another Sarah part where like he will give like ideas and jokes. Like Sarah will come with one thing, and it's like, I think you should play this animal that went viral this week, and then like so like he's hyper involved in the show. But I think his universe has and always will revolve around the show. So if Cam made those comments on the show, then that's a problem. But it's off the show, and so now you're back under Lauren's house of like doing the show. That's what he cares about.
Let's move to Tamara, the TikTok button girl. Were you aware of Tamara, the TikTok button girl, before this?
No, and I think it's a Snack Homies thing too, where you and I are now in this camp where we're going to miss the thing that they're lampooning. It's just not possible to keep up with everything that they hit on, because there are people like, what's really interesting, there are people watching that have no idea who Michael Irvin is. And then there are people watching this who have no idea who this TikTok button girl is. And I was in that camp, and I still thought this was funny. I thought this was good energy from Jane, and great to see her get something on that's not her or the couple with Marcelo. But I thought this was super, super strong from her.
Yeah, I did too. And I'm glad I didn't know about it, honestly, because then I went and checked it out, and I was like, okay, I see what they did there. Okay, cool. You know, like I was glad I didn't know. Because also, there's also like and this is probably a majority of people, if they don't know what it's about or don't know what it is, and then don't like it, they just don't care. And I'm kind of like, oh, let's go see what this is. And then let's see what it is. It is funny. Like, just the attitude is it doesn't have to make sense to you. It's only got to make sense to me. And
and I think that's like the sign of it being a really good comedy piece too. And that like, I didn't know what it was. I didn't go verify what it was. You know, to go back on the sports way again, it's David Ortiz doing Big Papi, or Keenan doing David Ortiz as Big Papi. That's just a funny impression. It's just a funny, it just has turned it into a character. Even if you didn't know all of Bowen's things, they're able to set up update pieces in such a way where like you don't necessarily have to know. It's a character piece that they're doing. And I think they gave you enough in the lead up to where everybody can be on board with this. That's why like update, I think, is such a special part and piece of the show, and why I think Colin and Che have such a good flow. Like Seth was always very good at steering a weird Andy Samberg bit or a Fred bit, and having it like, this is still funny even if you don't know what's going on. Because like they also do some very specific New York stuff that like is for, it reminds me a little bit of like Second City, where like you're doing stuff that's for an audience that's in Chicago, probably knows Chicago, or at the very least is a tourist in Chicago, and it's obviously not on TV, so you're playing to the house. And then like these are more like you're playing to the house with these like New York specific bits. But if you can also make it translate to funny in the masses, that's a little bit of what we had here, and I thought it was great.
Space Emperor. Really, just here, fun with food is basically what we're gonna have here. Finn Wolfhard is the Emperor. He's got some servants, and one of them is Mikey Day, who's in charge of making sure that he has his snacks.
Yeah,
Um,
really good. The streaming service things was great. The was really, really solid because I had that again yesterday. We were looking to watch Abbott Elementary. I was on HBO and we were like, oh, like I thought we'd seen this one. I thought we were further. And it was like you have on HBO, you have season 1 through 4. But if you go on Disney Plus, then you have the current season.
season 5.
And I was
Yeah.
just like,
Ugh.
this is exhausting. It's like all over the place. So that was a perfectly timed joke for me.
No, I like that. I think one thing that I wrote down was though the and Finn like half broke a few times. Mikey half broke a few times. The one who kept breaking, and this happens multiple times, is Chloe.
Yeah.
You kind of couldn't keep it together, and I was like, "Yeah, you're not the one who's getting food, jammed down your face." Like, dude, it was very funny. Mikey Days. Okay, this is now we're not there. I'm not saying he doesn't care, but Mikey Days got a leash now too.
Yeah.
Where he can kind of do some things that might not. It almost feels like it was improv. I don't know if it was. I think it might have been played. But Mikey Day will do some crazy things and look into the camera at weird angles and jump into shots every once in a while. And he was doing that with the food and his funny hair, but he's also owning the sketch, which is great.
This is an odd leap to make, but it almost reminds me of how back in the day when they wanted to bring Johnny Knoxville on, and Johnny Knoxville opted to not do that, and he opted to go to do and create Jackass, which obviously has worked out quite well for him and for all of us in the world. But like Mikey now, and I'm thinking about that in the physicality of the background of the news when he walks into the wall with all the coffees and spills, like that really made me like gutturally laugh because I did not think we were going to get that level of a pratfall, on SNL. And to your point of it being improvised a little bit, I'm sure like he's adding more food, he's spraying more chocolate than need be, but it's really fun, very fun and silly. This is where I thought like Finn was great. Like I think we have a great comedic performer on our hands that I didn't really see coming with him.
Yeah, and sketches like this too that you've done at rehearsal, like you want to do it a little more in the live show.
Absolutely. So, I bet they dialed it back in the rehearsal, and then
they had to, and Finn. I mean, a lot of credit here because there's a couple of times he could have just lost it because Mikey Day is unhinged in this sketch.
The closeness to each other's face, and even the way Finn was holding his hand up was really funny to me.
I know, it was funny. Takes us to Boys Day. We've got Ben Marshall and Jeremy Culhane and Finn and Marcelo. They're all watching the playoffs. You're getting ready to watch the Patriots and Texans. And just having a guy's day, they're going to catch up on life and talk. But then Finn reveals that he's bringing in his new girlfriend, Veronica. And Veronica comes in and, look, she went for it. I'll give her that.
Yeah.
It just wasn't very funny to me. I don't know.
I think for these next two sketches, because right now we have Boys Day, and then we already hit on A$AP Rocky's second, which I liked more. And then there's one sketch afterwards. I think I started to feel the longness of this show.
Yeah.
And Boys Day had some funny moments in it. And again, like I think Finn was just good. I think Veronica's good. Everybody in the sketch was good. But it just, it was a little long and wasn't as necessary of a sketch. It's one that is like fine, but won't, be remembered, I don't think.
This is something that I've thought about her, calendar year 2025 a little bit. Because I think she's good and has a lot of potential here. I think she'll be here for a long time. I really do. But I remember an interview, I think it was the Jonas Brothers were on with Amy Poehler on her podcast. And they were talking about, I don't know if it was Nick or it was Joe, but it was one of them talking about how they realized just read the lines. Like stop trying to do too much. Now, a part of this character with her is being too much and just trying to bro down with the guys. But there's multiple times where I think she kind of does overdo it a little bit. And it's kind of like, hey, the jokes are there for you if you'll just go. Now, the jokes were not here for her in this sketch particularly. There are two things that did make me laugh in this. Three things that actually made me laugh. So now it sounds like I like the sketch, but I really didn't like the sketch because I didn't think it went on forever. But one, when she does get there and Finn's like, dude, she's just one of the guys, not a big deal. And then she gets there and then he leans, like he leans on her. And then when she's making a joke about breastfeeding and do you want Shaq or do you want Kobe? Just to make a sports reference. And honestly, the knife to the beer was pretty perfect in timing that you weren't kind of expecting.
Yeah, really solid.
This was just kind of one person. It felt like one person just going off at a sketch, and it just, I don't know, it was a little exhausting. I don't know.
Yeah, the Zach and Cody, This Is the Sweet Life was also really, really solid, and a very specific joke for specific age group. It's funny, she's so interesting to me, and she has a large presence on like Instagram and TikTok and those videos that she does, with who I think is like her boyfriend or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like they put out, I'm so curious how much of that she and they have filmed that they are just like steadily releasing, or how much they continue to write and film. Cause I'm like, like, it's just interesting that she's still putting out her own thing, which I guess Marcella had a stand-up special come out, which was probably done pre the season. Same with Sarah. So like stand-ups go do it. It's just interesting to see someone who is on a sketch show still putting out sketches.
Yeah. Please Don't Destroy occasionally will drop something. Not very often, but occasionally.
They're doing more like ads where they're getting paid from it. But that's just such an interesting thought of like, yeah, I mean, I guess if stand-ups are still going out doing their thing, but I think you'd want to focus your sketch performance on the sketch show. But yeah, this wasn't a huge hit for me, but had funny moments, like you said.
Free Solo.
Honestly, this one, again, I was pretty ready to be done with this episode at this point, and I liked the episode.
Did you know about this though? This thing that's happening?
I know the guy. Like that's another one where like I know the dude. Like he's climbed the El Capitan mountain or whatever. Isn't that the Free Solo?
So,
he free soloed
so
that mountain.
I didn't know the guy though. I just knew that next Friday is a big global streaming event on Netflix. So, you know, I knew, and I learned that last week. It's not like I've been counting down the days. I learned that last week, and we, did a segment on it on the radio show. Because like I was sitting there when it happened. I was like, okay, this could be good because they're doing this, when they have to do it, even though this is 6 days from now. And, just kind of didn't really go anywhere. This is a problem,
Yeah. I think this is where, and it's really hard. And to go on the Kimmel side of things, like it's hard when you're all chronically online, and this feels like I don't know. I don't even know if this is a chronically online thing, but like I don't have a Netflix account right now. Like I was mooching one, and then I got the boot, but it was like I finished Stranger Things, so all good. But like I'm not gonna get a Netflix account to watch this dude climb, a building. Like I didn't know what was going on. I haven't seen the ads about it. I haven't seen like you telling me that this is gonna be a thing on Netflix is how I found out that it's gonna be on Netflix. So yeah, there's just this interesting thing where everybody's so plugged in, but then not everybody is. Like if you actually look at the number of people who are on social media relative to people in the world, it's still skewed in the other way. But yeah, this one was just like a miss for me. And I think as everything goes, if you get older and older, you're just gonna not know as much of what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's A-okay.
All right, that takes us to Game Balls. I'll let you go first.
You know what? I didn't really think about a game ball in this.
It was spread out. I'll say it was all spread out. You couldn't point to one person and go, "Hey, they had a night."
I do. I want to give it to Finn. Just it was such a good premiere, or debut hosting gig. I thought he was great. Very surprising. Which is fun. Like I don't really have a ton of high hopes for Tiana Taylor or Skarsgård just because they don't strike me as comedic performers and everything that I've seen them in. And yeah, I think Finn was just like really game. He did silly, he did funny. He can kind of poke fun at Stranger Things a little bit. I think they all have a really good perspective on the typecast thing isn't as big a deal anymore. I don't think. Like Daniel Radcliffe, who's Harry Potter, was involved in this. Like he's done so much stuff, and he's still like he's Harry Potter, but like he can still do other things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's hopefully what these Stranger Things kids do. Where like I don't think Millie Bobby Brown is just 11, and I don't think Finn is just Mike anymore. Maybe it's the being a kid and then growing up into it. I think you can go do other stuff. I also think, I know I'm going down a different road here. I think we don't see Millie Bobby Brown for like a really long time.
No,
she
I
seems
don't
pretty
think-
content and not being in stuff.
She's married to Bon Jovi's son and
they
has
live on,
adopted
like, a
kids.
farm.
Like, you know, it's like she might be like, I've made my money. I'm good.
Yeah. But I think this guy and like Joe Keery, I think we'll see a lot of them. I hope we see a lot of the other two, you know, young kids that were there. But I bet they just will do plays.
The one we'll see, I think, will be Sadie Sink.
Yeah, she's gonna pop. I think you're right.
And she's already been, you know, when she was in that Taylor Swift video for All Too Well when Taylor did the 10-minute version of it.
And we've got some Marvel
connections
rumors.
are there. Yeah. I meant to mention this about Veronica a minute ago, is that her and Sabrina Carpenter are apparently tight.
Yeah, that was the thing over
out.
the break. So we talked about this after the Sabrina episode, but they did like a group Halloween costume together, and I was like, that's a good get. And then I saw on Sabrina's they like spent New Year's together, which like to go from that is what's so bizarre about this show now and social media. Like someone can be social media famous that you and I have no clue who they are, but like they are very popular, and someone in Sabrina's age bracket would know who they are.
Dude.
Then you get SNL.
Yeah.
Now you're best friends with a pop star.
I mean, it's happened too multiple times in the past couple of years. They'll pop on someone who like has a cameo on the show. And my wife would like react to it. And I was like, I don't know who that is. And like, oh yeah. And
yeah. Happened a little bit with K-pop Demon Hunters. Happened with, there was like a TikTok person 2 years ago, I think.
Trisha Paytas, yeah.
Yeah. Again,
I was like, who?
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah. But then you're like, oh yeah, they're a big deal. Then you find out, like, look into it. Oh.
Yeah.
It's, if anything, it's made me stop being so, because, you know, there's like an attitude, and maybe this is just like male ego and all that stuff is like, I don't know who that is. Ugh. Like whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's a horrible way to be. That's a terrible way to be. In fact, it's made me more curious as a person. Let's go find out, who is this? What?
I think
what can I tell about?
That's the rub with SNL people, which is where it will be very interesting to see how people react to, especially in Dallas. You're right. Like this is specific, but you and I both live in the Dallas Fort Worth area where Michael Irvin is probably still lives here. I would assume he might have a house in Florida.
No, he lives here, yeah.
But yeah, he's a figure. He's part of the 3 Super Bowls with the Cowboys, and like it's been on TV. He's been local. It will be really interesting to see the SNL is Bad crowd react to a Kill Tony person doing a sport. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Will they be?
I'm interested. I'm. It's, you know, we'll play the audio on the radio show probably and see how those. That's another thing though. Is I work with 2 guys in their mid-50s who also have not heard of a lot of stuff. So their attitude's not always like great about, well, here's this person. And sometimes mine's not either, you know, trying to figure all that out.
Yeah, we're getting older.
James Austin Johnson, I will give the game ball to, because I do think more adjustments to Trump after a month-long layoff. Funny. Boy band sketch was going on. But yes, I like overall, if you were to say, point at all the pictures of everyone who performed tonight. Yeah, Finn Wolfhard would be the guy who's like, he was, I mean, obviously the host is always like involved in every sketch, but this was different to me. I thought this was, maybe it's just because I was surprised. I was not expecting anything out of him. So I will, but I'll give the ball to James Austin Johnson. Predictions for next week. I'm not sure that I have much. Geese is your musical guest. I'll go there. The world is going to go crazy over Geese because they have been going crazy over Geese. I don't think the world fully knows that Geese is not the Strokes. Like that's the thing that's happening with me. That's confused me a lot about Geese, because Geese is the way people are talking about Geese, like they're the hot new thing, and they are, but they're just not what the Strokes were. And I'm just wondering if there's going to be a lot of people who go, oh, that's not what I thought that was going to be.
Yeah. Like I think they probably open with Taxes.
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's probably song number one, and that song is good, but it's like a slow build,
Yeah.
which will be interesting to see how they do it. I think for Geese, you get a pretty standard performance. Like I don't think we like ASAP Rocky's was very like theatrical. I think Geese is just going to be Geese. And is it Tiana Taylor next week?
Yep. Down to Taylor. So
I at first was like, you're not going to get a Leo cameo from one battle after another,
no.
but you did for Jonah Hill and Wolf of Wall Street. Leo came
Yeah.
out during the monologue, so I still don't think you do though. I honestly have no idea what to expect from Tiana Taylor because she was awesome in that movie, but again, it's not. She just kind of is a badass in that movie, and I don't really think of her as a comedic performer.
I mean, she's a music, she started in music. So
Yeah, I can't even place like her, honestly, like her voice. Like I just remember her like in One Battle, which is a perfect movie, by the way. It just her like
so good.
her action more than her, voice. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I don't really have a ton of predictions because I also don't think it's not as Stranger Things cameos, like that was coming from a mile away. Whether it was Harbor, whether it was Millie, whether it was the kids, whatever. Like Stranger Things stuff was coming for sure. This one, like I don't think you get a bunch of One Battle cameos.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, Sean Penn, probably not.
Yeah, I don't
But
think
they've
Sean
already
Penn,
done the Benicio del Toro.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've already went down that path this year. So
That was probably it.
Fun
I'm also
fact.
a little surprised, honestly, that instead of Tiana Taylor or like hosting, which she's very deserving to do so, it's not the daughter, the actor who played the daughter. It was her first
Chase
role.
Infinity.
Yeah, which I think would have been too much of Finn to her, but like I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Obviously, all these people in this movie are never going to be worried about work again. In fact, here it is. She was in this movie, The Rip, that just came out or is coming out. The Matt Damon Ben Affleck movie.
With Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Yeah,
there you go.
Yet.
She's got something to promote there, which that could give you a Matt Damon or Ben Affleck cameo.
I think you do get that actually. Now that you say that, I didn't know she was in The Rip, but I think
also in that movie Stephen Yeun. So Glenn from The Walking Dead.
Comedy guy.
And
actually a comedy guy. A lot of people don't know that.
And Kyle Chandler's in that as well. So there are possibilities, cameo possibilities for sure.
Stephen Yeun would be an excellent host because he's a Second City Chicago guy. And he just happened, his launch was Walking Dead. So he's more of a comedic actor than anything, but he has not super been in comedy stuff.
Totally. Could totally see him popping up.
Oh, yeah.
Also, let me tell you this, and I'm just finding this just swimming through her IMDb real quick. So she is in a movie coming out in 2026, expected in 2026, called 72 Hours. It's a comedy. A 40-year-old executive ends up at a 3-day bachelor party with 20-somethings after being mistakenly included in their chat group. Okay, she is casted as the lead, it looks like, in this movie. Marcelo Hernandez.
Oh.
Ben Marshall. Cam Patterson.
Whoa.
Also Kevin Hart. Michael Mando, who is Nacho from Better Call Saul. Zach Cherry, who is Dylan from Severance. So that's something coming out later this year.
Wow.
So there's a lot of connections here to the SNL world now, we're finding after a little research.
That's very interesting. So, yeah, I mean, I think you're probably going to get a big Marcelo day, which he's been a little quiet. And also, a Sarah Sherman shutout, I think, this week.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of Sarah, did we? Or did we get any at all? Yeah.
I just saw her at Good Nights.
Maybe she was in one of the pre-tapes for a second. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Well, dude, it's good to be back though. Back in the flow of things. And now we got some. Now I'm actually really excited for next week. Now I'm seeing all these SNL connections to Tiana Taylor because honestly, and I think Skarsgård's a great actor too. But these are 2 episodes where it's like, it just feels like a wasted opportunity. Feels like we could just run Jack Black again. Like
I
that's what
know,
I
yeah.
want.
I'm trying to
So
go see. It's still in a couple theaters. I'm trying to go see Anaconda with him and Paul Rudd because the two of them. I don't know. I haven't heard a thing about the movie, which makes me think it's probably not amazing. But like the two of them promoting the movie, I hope they work together forever and just continue
funny.
promoting stuff together forever.
I bet the movie's fine.
I bet
Going
it's
jokes.
abundantly fine. It's like an
very
hour
fun.
and 40 minutes. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Of course, I'll see that.
The one I'm debating is is this thing on with Will Arnett.
I do want to see that too. That feels like a plane movie, or
it does.
Yeah. Honestly, in fairness, so does Anaconda. But yeah, that. I also got to see a little Marty Supreme.
You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet, which also feels like we're due for a Chalamet cameo in some way.
Yeah. I mean, they could bring him back to host it, I would think. Chalamet's pretty clear. Like, his intentions are very interesting to me. He wants to be the greatest actor of all time, and he wants to win more awards than anyone. And he's not really hiding it, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, he's going for it.
Likeable guy going on an MJ run, kind of starts not being likable. I could see this happening, and I'm tracking it very closely.
Yeah.
I loved Marty Supreme, so I hope you get to see it.
I do. I'm excited. I've been behind. We had the holidays. Everything comes and goes in theaters in like 7 seconds. So, yeah, I got to get out there.
Begonia is a lot of fun too.
I saw Begonia.
Okay.
Begonia was great.
I loved it.
Yeah, Jesse Plemons is perfect. I feel like we're due for an Emma Stone to host SNL in a while too. She's a 5-timer who has not hosted in a long time.
Yeah. I think she did a couple years ago. Right? Well, geez, now that time has passed, we're in season 51.
Maybe like 21, 22.
I want to say it was like season 48, maybe.
Yeah, that does sound right.
Because I think that was when they gave her the jacket, right?
Yeah.
Am I crazy now? I'm gonna look it up, dude, because I have to.
But that also still feels like a long time ago. Again, we all have goldfish brain.
2023. This was season 49, episode 6.
Wow,
dude, really? Literally 2 years ago. Yeah.
That feels so
December
much longer.
2nd, 2023. Musical guest Noah Kahan.
Oh, I remember that more than her hosting.
She did 2010, 2011, 2016, 2019, 2023. But you're right. I mean,
we're due.
Kind of on par every 2 or 3 years. So
yeah,
we will see. Next week, Tiana Taylor, geese. Everyone got geese pilled this summer. Let's see what they do for us.
I wonder if this will either, kind of keep the status where it is, but I feel like we're due for another geese bump. Because this summer it was just, again, I don't know how people find music and they're like, this is the band. And then this was Geese.
Geese is the one. Goose versus Geese. And then, My Wife Rocks says that Sarah was in the Building Climber one. Yeah, the free solo one. Yeah, she was
just
small.
Yeah, like the Building Climber was just kind of a shot of NyQuil for me.
Yeah, it's time to go to bed.
It was night time.
All right, Jesse. We'll see you next time. Everyone, follow the thing. Jesse, dude, promote your work. You've been writing some stuff, dude.
I have been writing some stuff. Yeah, I have some stuff on Points and Case and Slackjaw. If you go on pointsandcase.com, search my name, there'll be a couple pieces there. Hopefully some more coming this year. Now, I don't have anything on the docket just yet, but Points and Case is probably the most recent spot.
And I do a radio show 3 to 6 on 97.1 The Eagle. And if you like football, I do a Cowboys podcast every week too, called the One Star Cowboys Podcast. I think I'm getting better about promoting my things and not feeling weird about it.
No, it's good.
Do you guys turn it into a corporate shield
through the off season?
Oh my God. Yeah, we do like once a week. We don't go too hard or anything. In fact,
hey, Sean McDermott's out there.
I know, defensive coordinator for the Cowboys.
I would. He probably goes and gets a head coaching job, but that's not what this podcast is.
He probably should. How do you feel about him losing his job?
I think it was time. Honestly, like he was not the problem this year. It was the GM who's now the GM and president,
keeps the job,
which is odd. But I think if you draft Josh Allen, you get a couple swings at the thing. So we'll see. Yeah, I think Sean maybe. I mean, you can't lose that many games that many ways and keep your job.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you can't bomb that many times on SNL and keep your job.
I felt bad for you, dude. Heartbreaker.
It just always is.
It just always is.
It
I mean,
always
it's
is.
not always that way for me as a Packer fan, but it has been in the last few years. So I've been like,
For the Bills, I mean, I've been at this for 33 years. That's just how it goes. That's just what happens every time. It's brutal.
All right, Jesse. We'll see you next week.
All right. Go Bills.
Bye, everyone.